Hello and welcome back. So in this particular video, we're going to look at the principle of least privilege, like this. So what this means is that you give somebody just as much access as they need. So let's say, for example, you have a website where you want somebody to be posting. You want somebody to just have access to. You want somebody to be posting or putting posts on your behalf. You're not supposed to give such a person admin access. Okay. That person should be an editor. So you should have roles on your system where one is an admin, one is an editor, one is just a customer, okay, or just user access, just a normal user access, and then everyone else. Like that. So you should have a system where if somebody asks for access, for example, or I want to be an editor, you just give them what they need. Because if you give them admin access, they'll go to all the places they're not supposed to go. And then the day they leave your workforce, they'll know all the secrets of your website and they may cause a problem. So hiding information is important. So just give somebody the access that they just require, the minimum requirement. Like if somebody doesn't need to edit posts, then don't give them that access. Just give them user access. Don't give them that editing access. If somebody needs to be a supervisor, just put the supervisor there. You don't need to give them admin access, and so on. So I guess you get my point here. So that is very important because it will keep your website organized. If something is wrong, you know there are a few people that you can point to and ask them what happened. So let's see how we can limit access on a website. So like the way we are right now, if somebody is logged in, they'll probably have access to everything. Actually, there's no access limit on any of this stuff. So how do we make this work? Well, let's create a function since we already have the contents here. So check the link in the description for this website in case this is your first video. The code is in there. So what we want to do is restrict access to the posts location here. Now, in order for this to work, let's go to our PHP database, and let's go to the users table here, and let's go to the structure of the table. So in the structure here, we have to add one more column, and I will call this column rank, or you can call it level. That's entirely up to you. I'll call it rank. This will tell me what rank somebody is. So I'll just put maybe 20 characters here and hit save. Okay. So if I browse now, I have to give ranks to these people here. So let me just select these two and try to edit this. And let's go down here. So it's up to you what rank you want to give each individual. So let's say this one is an admin. There we go. And this one would be probably, let's try editor. So it's entirely up to you what you want the editor to have access to, and so on and so forth. So we'll see how to do that. So let me save these two. And as you can see now, we have the two users. John is an admin, Mary is an editor. So how do we make sure they only access what they need to? Okay, so to do that, let's create a function. Yes, it's always a function. So we go to functions here, even though this should be renamed to classes, but what the hell. Anyway, down here, I will create a function. We're going to change this into a class, so don't worry, eventually. So I'm going to say function access. That's what we're going to call it, just access like that. And then here, we're going to give the rank that we need, like so. So here we're going to supply the rank that is required for somebody to have access to that particular content. So we'll put the content in an if statement, and if the access says they have access, then they can access it. So here we're going to put a switch statement and say switch, like so. And we're going to be looking at what the rank is talking about, what the rank is here. Good. Now, at the moment, we're going to need the session. Now, look at this here. This is the login function, right? So once somebody is logged in, we're going to add a variable to their session, which is the user ID. This way we know that this is the ID of the person that is logged in. But we can add one more now, and this one will be user rank, like so. And then we're going to use the raw rank to get that, like so. This means now at all times, if somebody is logged in, we have access to what rank they are currently on. So that's good. So I'm going to copy that. Now we don't want to be asking the user to, we don't want to be having to add the rank in the code. So we're just going to use that global variable right there. So I'm just going to say rank. Let's say user rank is equal to, I'll do that. Okay. So it's possible this won't be set, right? Because if the user is not logged in, this will definitely not be set. So we have to be prepared for that. So I'm just going to say if is set. We'll have to ask it if it's set, and then put the question mark. If it is set, then let's paste that there. But if it isn't, then we're just going to give it an empty string. So user rank is going to be an empty string if we are not even set here. So that's covered. And then this one is, let's change this to needed rank, like so, so that we know this is the rank that we need in order to accept. Yeah. So if the needed rank is admin, so this is up to you now. You have to create the ranks yourself. So let me do that. So we may have admin, we may have editor, and we may have just a normal user. Now, if there's a default, if there are none of these, it's okay, because we're not going to give them any access. We just say return false. So we're going to return a false if it's none of the above. But if it is one of the above, we'll call it true. So here, the only thing we have to ask is a return. Let's just tell it to return a value. So if the user rank, copy. So if this needed rank is admin, so it means the user rank must be at least equal to admin. Oops, admin, I don't know what was that. Like so. But admin should be the last one. So let's let's do this, admin, or, now this is very important, this part here. Keep in mind that if a rank is admin, it means he has access to everything that goes, every other rank here. So it may not be true sometimes, but if this is the super admin, for example, he must have access to where the editor has access to. He must also have access to where the user has access to. Because if we just put and say user is equal to admin like that, and then we ask the question, let's say the needed rank is a simple rank like editor here. This is going to return false because the admin is not an editor. But we must put it in there that even though the required is editor because he is above editorship, he should be given access. So we'll put an or statement here like this, and put every other rank here, like so. So since we have 3, let's put them here as well. Okay. Yes. So if user rank is equal to this, that. So there could be another way you can do this. You can add an array instead of doing this, and then you check if it's inside that array. So let's just use the allowed array here and do this. So allowed is equal to, let's just say admin, because doing it this way is okay, but however you can have maybe 10 or 20 of these, and this is not going to be very good for the coding here. So instead, let's put them to a function allowed and say the admin is allowed to be an admin, is allowed to be an editor, and he's allowed to be just a normal user, like this. And then what we're going to return here is a condition, because conditions always return true or false. So we're just going to say in array, like so, is the needed rank, no, the user rank actually. Let's copy that. We know the needed rank here is admin. So if the user's rank, wait, in array, I didn't get the memo here. Let's put that there. Okay, so the needle is what we are looking for. So we are looking for the user rank. Is it inside the allowed? Like so. So if this returns true, then we're going to return true. If it returns false, we're going to return false. Just like that. That's all we need. So I'm going to copy this code here. Just that. Copy. Paste it here. And here, the editor is only allowed editorship and usership, like that. Okay, allowed, like that. And same thing here, we'll paste that there. And of course, I will remove the admin and the user. So the user is only allowed that access, and that's it. So this is the function here. So let's say I add a new requirement. Let's say it's supervisor. I add it here. I have to decide which of these supervisor qualifies. Does supervisor qualify to be an admin? Then I'll add it as part of the allowed. Is he bigger than a user? And so on. So you only add all the levels that are equal to the current level and the ones below. So here the editor is equal to editor, but the user is below the editor. So we add it there. Admin is equal to admin, but editor and user are below that, so we add both of them there. So that could be your reasoning for adding these. So once you're done here, we are good to go. So all I need to do now is log in, and then let's try to give some access. So for example now, if I come back here, this one would be the editor, right? So that's Mary. So I want to log in as Mary. So let's go to the login page. I will say Mary at yahoo.com, password. Now I'm logged in as Mary. Now I want to restrict the posts here that are on this page from Mary's viewership. So all I need to do is just copy this access, copy. Let's go to the posts themselves down here. So this is the part where we view the posts from. So all I'm going to say is put an if statement and say if access, and then now I tell it what access I need. Here I need the person to be an admin, so just write admin. So anything inside this if statement will not show up if I am not a qualified admin. So I'm going to push this back here like so. Boom. Okay, so I have to be an admin here. So if access admin, show that. So let's come back here and let me refresh the page. Oops. So you see that it is showing me correctly that this is true. So let's come back here, which is not correct here. Let's come back here and see what issues we have. So first of all, let me check the user rank here, and I'm just going to echo this user rank. So this is some troubleshooting here, and refresh. So the user rank is editor, which is correct, right? So let me come back here again. So if the user rank is editor here, what I'm allowed is editorship and usership. Oh, wait a minute, did I miss this? Okay, but what about the needed rank? Let's echo that. Needed rank. There we go. Oh, so I see where the problem is here. I think I done made a mistake. I think I went the other way around. So here, the situation is that the case that is required is the needed rank is admin. So my current rank is editor. So I am in here. So this doesn't seem to work as we planned. So maybe these guys are supposed to go the other way around. So let's do this. Let me remove those guys. So that now if it says admin, I should only be an admin. Okay, kind of makes sense. So then it means here, let me copy that and put it here. So I guess I had gone the opposite direction. Like that. Let me move this up. Very easy to make such mistakes in programming. So the important thing is to correct thyself. So here editor should be an editor and an admin at the same time. So it's the opposite. Okay, so I guess it was the other way around. The user, because we are looking at this as the requirement. So if I'm an admin and the requirement is user, it means I should be able to access what the user is supposed to access. So I will have to include admin. But if the requirement is admin, then I need to be only an admin. If the requirement is admin, a user cannot access this. So because I had swapped this is the requirement and not the user rank that is here. So I had done the complete opposite. But anyway, just change things to be like this and it's going to work. So if you add another rank here, just test it once you add it to be sure that it's giving the correct access here. But the higher we go here, the less access we give. So admin should only be admin. Supervisor should only be supervisor, editor, and user, and so on and so on. So let's try this again. I'll refresh the page. And now I don't see my posts here. So here instead on the else here, I can just put an else statement and say, sorry. Let me echo this out and say, sorry. That's a weird sorry there. Sorry, you don't have access. My fingers keep typing things I am not typing here. Okay, so there we go. So if I refresh now, say, sorry, you don't have access. So if I try to refresh, nothing. Now, if I log in as John, who is an actual admin, and then I go to posts, you see that I do have access now. But if I log out for some reason, in our case, we don't have a logout system. So all I'm going to do is empty the session array. So I'm just going to say session destroy, like so. So I will refresh this once, boom, and I've destroyed the session. So now if I out here and I refresh, I won't have access because I'm not logged in at all at this point. So sorry, don't have access. Even if I log in as editor, I won't have access until I log in as admin. So let's try that real quick. Let me log in as Mary again, like that, password. So Mary is an editor. Keep that in mind. Password, enter. So we go to posts, no access. Let's log in as John now. So John, and then let's do password here, enter, and let's go to posts. Now we have access. So this is how you restrict access to anything. So every time you want to restrict access to anything, let me go to the post here, you only have to put the if statement and say if access, and then you give the access that you need, that the person needs for them to view what you want them to view, and that's it. So if I lower this to user, if there's no access requirement, just omit this whole thing. If I lower this to user, then the editor can still see this. and the user can still see this, but somebody who's not logged in will not be able to see this. So user is like the basic requirement of logging in, and then we go to the editor who can edit content, and then we may go to a supervisor, and then we go to an admin. So you can add as many as you want, just put them here. Those ranks, just put them here, as many as you want. And then for each content, you just give the access level that you want that person to have access to. And that's it. Okay, so hopefully you've learned how to be more conservative with the access you give to your systems and how to make sure that the right person has access to the right places. Okay, so I'll see you in another video.